of basketball, we got to go to the men's side. We have to go to the men's because the men's, they are getting ready for champ week, okay? And there's no other way to do it but recapping what took place over the weekend with a lot of big games. Starting out with the number two team in the country, one of the teams that's looking to be the number one overall seed coming to the NCAA tournament. The Alabama Crimson Tide walked into College Station against the 24th ranked Texas A&M, and they came out with the L 67-61. The Aggies defeat the Crimson Tide. Senior day was spoiled for the Baylor Bears, the seventh-ranked team in the country, as Iowa State walked in there and put on the defensive clinic, winning 73-58 over the Baylor Bears. Same thing can't be said in the Big East when 20th ranked Providence played host to Seton Hall, and Seton Hall put on the defensive clinic with an offensive display, 82-58, spoiling the Flyers' senior day. The Marquette Golden Eagles, led by Shaka Smart, who should be Coach of the Year. In my book, he did not let senior day get spoiled because in a very tightly contested game with the St. John's Red Storm, the Golden Eagles finished it off 97-94. West Virginia did not take senior day lightly. They took a full advantage of their senior day, taking down 11th-ranked Kansas State 89-81. As we move right along here, the Auburn Tigers, who needs wins left and right to get themselves back on track, they did not disappoint on senior day, taking down the Tennessee Volunteers, the 12th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers, should I say, 79-70. Same cannot be said for the Arkansas Razorbacks on their senior day because the Kentucky Wildcats walked in there and they walked out of there victorious, 88-79. Oklahoma, they had a great senior day as they took down 22nd ranked TCU 74-60. Senior day at Austin, Texas was a very, very happy one for the Texas Longhorns as they put on the display on the third-ranked Kansas Jayhawks 75-59, a beating at the hands of the defending champs. Can the defending champs get themselves together for the Big 12 tournament? That's a bad loss. Even though it's a top 10 matchup, that's a bad loss on the road to get beat like that. As we continue on, Syracuse, they keep their hopes of making the NCAA tournament alive with the win versus Wake Forest on their senior day. The Q-Dome was rocking, and the Qs handled business. The Orange Men handled their business 72-63 over Wake Forest. Continue on. Senior day and postseason play is in dire jeopardy for the North Carolina Tar Heels because Duke pulls off the regular season sweep 62-57. Dukes gets good old revenge on UNC from last season. Now, North Carolina has to make a very, very championship run in the ACC tournament to fight off the possibility of not making the NCAA tournament. The Colorado Buffaloes, they sent their seniors home on a good note, winning 69-60 over the Utah Utes, two teams who are trying to fight for resume contention to make the NCAA tournament. The Miami Hurricanes on senior day handled business against 25th ranked Pitt Panthers as they clinch up the number one spot in the ACC tournament, winning 78-76. The Oklahoma State Cowboys looking to pad their resume to get notice for the NCAA tournament. They go on the road and they score. The Red Raiders senior day, winning 71-6. All right, as we continue on here, we're having some technical difficulties real quick, but into it. Continue right along here with what we have going on. The Utah State Aggies take down Boise State 87-86 on the Aggies senior day. UCLA in a top 10 matchup in the Pac-12. They defend home court going 17-0 on the home court of LA, taking down Arizona 82-73. The Trojans also doing the same thing as they crosstown rivals did, defending home court on their senior day, 68-65 over the Arizona State Sun Devils. Moving right along. Oh, we had a big one in the American. Number one, Houston. They was in Memphis to take on the Tigers, and Houston buzzer beater takes down Memphis 67-65, making their case for the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Down to the Big Ten, and it was a doozy one at Happy Valley. The Penn State Nittany Lions did not disappoint senior day as they took down 21st ranked Maryland 65-64. Purdue was in a battle with Illinois and West Lafayette, but the Purdue Boilermakers take care of their seniors 76-71 on senior day. Moving right along, the Nebraska Huskies, they won the Iowa Hawkeyes senior day with a stunning upset win, 81-77. Indiana was hosting Michigan with a game that was back and forth that went into overtime, but the Hoosiers did not disappoint senior day, getting the 75-73 win over the Michigan Wolverines, putting their season for a postseason play in jeopardy. The Northwestern Wildcats, they walked into Rutgers and just gave the Scarlet Knight a beating on senior day, 65-53. Northwestern will be the second seed in the Big Ten tournament. Who would have thought that? Now we have some tickets that will punch for the men. Shout out to the UNC Asheville Bulldogs winning the Big South over the weekend. They punched their tickets into the NCAA tournament. Moving right along, the Missouri Valley champions, the Drake Bulldogs, also punching their ticket into the NCAA tournament, winning the Missouri Valley Conference. Continue to move right along. We had the Atlantic Sun be won over the weekend as the Kennesaw State winning the Atlantic Sun Conference to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. They are also going advancing as well. And shout out to the I don't think he's on here, but I think I forgot to put them on here. But shout out to the Southeast Missouri State Warhawks punching their ticket by winning the Ohio Valley Conference Championship. And no matter what happens in the Northeast Championship game between Marcus and Fairleigh Dickinson gets the automatic bid because their opponents cannot play in postseason play due to the transition from Division II to Division I limitations on that. So those are the ticket sponsors as of right now. And here's where we stand for Joe Lunardi's bracketology as it stands right now. Last four byes: Pittsburgh, NC State, Auburn, Rutgers. Last four in: Mississippi State, Nevada, Wisconsin, Penn State. First four out: Utah State, Clemson, Oklahoma State, Arizona State. And next four out: Michigan, North Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Oregon. It's a lot of big names that you just see on your screen, what you heard me say. But nevertheless, all these teams still have a chance. Can any one of these teams win their conference tournament? Can any of these teams make a deep run in their conference tournament to help get their way into the NCAA tournament? Because all the big schools, now they ready for conference tournament, okay? Beginning with the men's ACC tournament down in Greensboro, North Carolina. That will start taking place on tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Kicking it off with Florida State versus Georgia Tech. Then you have Boston College versus Louisville. Follow up with Virginia Tech versus Notre Dame. You have Miami the 1, Virginia the 2, Clemson the 3, and Duke the 4. But all eyes will be on North Carolina. All eyes will be on North Carolina. Hubert Davis, can he make a run to get his squad back into the NCAA tournament, or will it be done with a quick exit loss, either in the second round or the quarterfinals if they get past a second round matchup and face UVA? From there, we go to the Big East. The Big East, they'll get started on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have Butler and St. John's kicking it off, followed by DePaul and Seton Hall, and then Georgetown and Villanova. What the goal is, Marquette's the 1 seed, Marquette's the 1 seed, take that back. Xavier's the 2 seed, Creighton's the 3 seed, Marquette the 4, Providence the 5. Championship game will be taking place at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, March 11th, along with the ACC. That championship game will be played on March 11th. Go to the Big 12 tournament, where they get their start off on Wednesday, beginning with West Virginia and Texas Tech, then Bedlam in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. You have Kansas the 1, Texas the 2, K-State the 3, Baylor the 4. As you can see here, that championship game takes place on Selection Sunday, March 12th. Pac-12 tournament kicking off Wednesday on March 8th. Washington, Colorado kicking it off, followed by Washington State, California, Utah, Stanford, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, where they will see the runners of number 1, UCLA, number 2, Arizona, number 3, USC, and number 4, Oregon. Championship game takes place Saturday, March 11th. And you have the American Conference. They'll tip off Thursday, March 9th, beginning with East Carolina versus South Florida, followed by SMU and UCF, and Tulsa and Wichita State. And your top seed is Houston, followed by Memphis, Tulane, Cincinnati, and Temple. Championship game, Selection Sunday. The Big Ten tournament. Big Ten kicks off on Wednesday. You'll see Ohio State and Wisconsin to kick it off, followed by Minnesota and Nebraska. The double byes for the top 4 seeds are Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and Michigan State. Shout out to Michigan State. They turned the ship around. They're starting playing ball. Tom Izzo got that team rocking and rolling. But for this tournament, all eyes are on Michigan. People want to see, can Michigan do what they can do to get in? And then you have the SEC tournament. That will be kicking off Wednesday, March 8th, when you'll see Ole Miss taking on South Carolina, followed by LSU taking on Georgia. Your double byes for the top 4 seeds are Alabama 1, Texas A&M 2, Kentucky 3, and Missouri 4. Championship game is on March 12th. Gonna take another break